Good evening, teachers. I'm back again with you with a bang. This time for our final grade for the initial stage. So that's grade 3. This is a very important stage. This is a very important exam because it's a culmination of the initial stage. So it's very important for us to ensure that they are well versed with what has happened in grade 1 and 2, and then take on every single language function of grade 3 intensely. Now you'll notice there's a difference in the training this time. Grade 1 and 2 was a lot of dramatics, drama. It was initiated more by me, and the children had to pitch in here and there. By the time we reach grade 3, again we will have a story, we will have a song, but this time I will be speaking less, and I will initiate the conversation among the children. I want you to notice that. And this is the last grade where you will see interactive stories, songs, and music and all that. Once we go to the next level, that's the elementary level, grades 4, 5, 6, the techniques are quite different, absolutely different. They're more challenging, they're more demanding. Grades 1, 2, and 3 are examiner-led. But 4 onwards, they have to learn to do a presentation by then. So that training is very different from what we will be doing up to grade 3. So here we have a revision of the present tense of the verb to be, and then we introduce them to the past tense of the verb to be. So let them know which pronoun goes with which word. So it was I was, he was, she was, it was, but you were, we were, they were. Now we can't teach it to them like this because they're not going to remember. So with the help of the activities, I'll show you how we're going to do it. Then we have important question words. We say the word who when it involves the person. What is a thing or an action? When is a time? Where is a place? How is the way something is or the way something happens? And why is the reason? Now we don't have why in grade 3. All the other question words are there up to grade 3. Why will come into grade 5. But they need to know when they use which question word. And then we have a revision of the pronouns. We've already been doing it from grade 1, but a revision will help, and the activities will help, reinforce it and make it a part of their everyday speaking. Now we have teaching techniques to elicit correct language. Once again, we have the interactive storytelling. As I told you, there'll be a difference this time. We have the show and tell. Again, it will be different from the earlier ones. Out-of-box questions, the try phrase, Lexis play, chant drills, triple A, which we have done before, guess what, and word associations. They're very challenging and very exciting. And if you really follow the procedure, I tell you, it will be foolproof. Now, in your feedback, some of the people asked me, how do we assess the children? Yes, we can assess the children because while doing the activity, you're getting them to speak. So in that manner, in that way, you are able to understand whether they are able to use the language that is required of them. Get each child to speak. So I'll do it in depth today so you'll understand better. Some of you have asked me, how can we use these activities for adults? Yes, we can. Cut off the story part, cut off the singing part, because that is interesting for children. But the functions are there. We are using the functions. Let's start with the program. So this time I chose the Gingerbread Man. And the language functions will be expressing ability, inability, simple directions and locations, current activities of real people, asking simple questions. Now, for directions and locations, we have to put up the prepositions of movement up on the board. So the children, when they're giving directions, I will not tell them where the gingerbread man is going. I will not tell them what he can see along the way. They have to imagine and use the prepositions of movement as the gingerbread man moves along. Now, for Lexis, I have chosen places in the local area. So I've chosen a few. You can choose different places each time you tell the story. So in the actual story, the gingerbread man meets animals. But for grade 3, we have our topic, places in the local area. So I have chosen that. And along with that, we can teach them about jobs, which is also a requirement of grade 3. And then comes the grammar. This is important. In each and every activity, you will find that I'm using all the grammar functions there. So don't restrict your activity to one function. So let's start. There was once a sweet little couple. They were bakers. The baker and his wife. A baker has a bakery. And what does he do in his bakery? So you begin your story by asking the children, can you tell me what the baker does in his bakery? Let them use the picture to say what they can see. What are the different things? Where does she bake her cakes? Does she only bake cakes? What else does she make besides cakes? They will speak. They have to speak. And then while speaking, they're going to be using the present continuous tense and the past tense of the verb to be, as well as link words and in there. Now, one day, the baker's wife decided that they were very lonely, so let's make a bread in the shape of a little man or in the shape of a little boy. So she made the bread in the shape of a little boy. She put eyes and nose and cherry for his nose, and she made a little mouth. She put it on a tray and placed it in the oven. She shut the door and she put on the timer. Now, many of the children will be able to assist you in this aspect because they have watched their mothers baking cakes. So what does mother do? She puts on the timer. Get them to speak. Now, those who don't know this will learn. So then all the time she kept going and peeping because there's a glass door there, kept peeping to see, is he ready? Is he ready? Oh, the timer is not gone as yet. Finally, the gingerbread boy was ready. So she very gradually, she opened the door of the oven and out popped the gingerbread man. He jumped up and he was sitting on the tray. So the lady got frightened. She says, goodness gracious, what are you doing? But he didn't wait to answer her question. He jumped off the tray, jumped onto the window and jumped out of the window and began running along the road. And the baker and his wife kept running behind him. They were sad. They wanted him. After all, she's made it for themselves. But the gingerbread man only said, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. And they couldn't, they were little aged. They couldn't catch him. So the gingerbread man ran along the road. Now here's where they will use the prepositions of movement. He ran along the road. He went across the playground. He jumped over the fence. Let them say whatever they want. And as he was running and running and running, he suddenly came to a dentist clinic. What did he do? Now on the side here, I put in the prepositions of place, the use of can and can't, describing activity of people, past tense of the verb to be, link words and in there. Okay, I want them to use this while telling me about this picture. He entered the dentist clinic. And what did he see there? I'm not going to tell them what he saw there. Who's going to say it? You see the difference now between grade 1 and grade 2 and this grade? So they will tell us what the gingerbread man saw at the dentist clinic. Now the teacher in advance should make a list of the words, the vocabulary she wants them to learn connected with the dentist clinic. So once you have that vocabulary ready, encourage them to use those words. They may not know certain things. You can get a toy kit for them so that you can talk about everything that you see at a dentist clinic. There's a little patient there sitting. His treatment is over, so the dentist is showing him the mirror. See, have a look at your teeth, how lovely they are. And then suddenly he saw this little gingerbread man roaming around the place. So he said, "Come here, little boy, come sit on the dentist chair." So he went and he sat on the chair. He was very excited. And the dentist asked him, "Have you got a toothache?" Now remember, has and have were done in grade 2. So we are revising that as well. "Have you got a toothache?" And the gingerbread man said, "I have no teeth." And he opened his mouth. And then the nurse looked into his mouth and said, "Oh, no teeth. But he's made of bread. Come on, doctor, let's have him for tea." When the gingerbread man heard that, he jumped off the chair and ran as fast as he could. He ran and he ran. And what did he say while running? "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." And again, we'll ask the children, now what did he see? He passed along the road and he saw tall trees, he saw a post box, he saw somebody's garden, and let them say whatever they want. There's no script here. Encourage them. What did he see? What did he see? What did he see? Keep asking. Finally, he came to a supermarket. Now you see my picture there? I have chosen a picture which tells a story. Don't have just a picture of a supermarket just there. Here it tells a story. You can see people. You can see them interacting. What is the boy saying to his father? "I like that melon. I want the melon." And here the gingerbread man, his mouth is watering. He said, "Oh, even I love melons." So you know what he did? He quietly jumped into the trolley and he sat there in the corner. And this father and mother were putting so many fruits into the trolley. And then suddenly they saw this gingerbread man. So the boy's mother said, how sweet. What a cute little gingerbread man. Come here, son. Look at him. We can have him for tea today. He looks so cute. Look at the cherry on his nose." And when the gingerbread man heard that, he got frightened. He jumped out of the trolley. Now, please pay attention to the prepositions I'm using, okay? He jumped out of the trolley and he started running and running and running. And what did he say while he was running? "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." Once again, we'll encourage the children to use the prepositions of movement and tell us what the gingerbread man saw along the way. So they are participating. It is their story. Then he was passing by a garden. So he got into the garden. And there I've shown you a picture of the gardener's tools. So you can encourage children while they're having the picture talk to get the correct names of those tools. And when the gardener saw him, so he says, "Oh, little boy, you've come to help me. Can you just fetch me that watering can?" And the gingerbread boy man said, "I can't carry that can. It's so heavy." So the gardener looked at him closely. Says, "Oh, so you are made of bread. Thank you for coming to my garden. I'm going to have a feast for tea today." Again, he got frightened. This time he ran for his life. He said, "Oh my goodness, I shouldn't be here." And what did he say? "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." And then, finally, he reached a school. And all the children were going, the bell had rung, and all the children were going into the classroom. So he also went into the classroom. And all the children saw him. "Hey, hey, hey, look, look, look." Some of them said in Hindi, "Dekho, dekho, dekho." In Marathi, they said, "Baga, baga, baga, konala, konala." And everybody was talking in their own language. And the teacher says, "What should we say? Look who's coming into our classroom." You see how the teacher has taught them how to say it in English? The children, they think in their mother tongue. So we have to encourage them, gently give them the English word. So look who's coming into our classroom. So they all said it in chorus. Look who's coming into our classroom. And then the teacher looked at the little boy and said, "What do you want, little boy?" So the gingerbread man said, I want to sit in your class. I want to be a student in your class. So the teacher asked him, can you write? Now, ability and inability is part of grade 3. They have to be able to say the can and the can't. So the teacher will ask, can you write? He said, no, I can't. Can you read? No, I can't. Then what can you do? He said, I can learn. So the teacher was so happy with that answer. I can learn. Oh, you can learn. So she got him a little stool. She made him sit on that stool. And ever after that, the gingerbread man was a student in this classroom. Did you like my story? I'm sure the children must have enjoyed it. And what did I teach them? All along, everybody, when they came to know he was made of bread, and that to gingerbread, everybody said, oh, we can have him for tea. But did you see the difference here? The teacher guided the children that they have to be kind. So this is the message. So you notice everywhere there are attitudes and values coming into play. And so we come to the can and can't, ability and inability. Now, children are not able to do this. If you ask them, can you swim? They say yes, or they say no. You've got to teach them to say it in a full thing. Yes, I can swim, but I can't skate. Teach them to use the can and the can't. So this is an introductory activity where I have the pictures, I've given them the answers, they only have to put in the can and the can't. A parrot can speak, but it can't swim in the sea. A cat can catch a mouse, and it can climb trees. A rooster can get up very early, but it can't give you eggs. A goat can climb rocks very well, but it can't fly. A horse can really run very fast, and it can jump over fences just like the gingerbread man. A monkey can climb trees, and it can walk on its legs. Now, once they do this activity, get the children to tell you one thing they can do and one thing they can't do. So that's how it gets reinforced in their minds about the ability and inability. So the next slide will reinforce this. So now you have the picture of a tailor. What can the tailor do and what can't he do? So they will say the tailor can sew clothes, he can cut material, he can take my measurements, but he can't sail a ship. And then they look at the sailor. What can he do and what can't he do? So the sailor can sail a ship, but he can't fly a plane. And look at the fireman here. So you can understand, I'm getting them to use the words for ability and inability. At the same time, I'm fulfilling the nexus of jobs, different jobs. I put in only 4. For each lesson, you can put more and more. And this is a wonderful activity for online classes, because as an assignment, the next time you have a class for ability and inability, the children can bring in pictures and they can tell us. Suppose a child brings the picture of a cobbler, and then he has to tell the class, what can the cobbler do and what can't he do? So in that way, so you have the fireman, you have the astronaut. So don't stick to only can and can't here. Have a little talk about each job profession. What does the astronaut do? Who would like to, who in this class wants to become an astronaut? Who wants to be a fireman? You can have so much of discussion. What is our aim here? As I told you in the past webinars, you must have an aim in mind and don't stick to one aim. So you see, by having a little discussion on each of these pictures, you have got them to converse with you on so many different aspects. This picture is hilarious. I used it in an earlier webinar, but I brought it again today for the benefit of those who were not there for the first webinar. This picture tells a story. And if you, all of you, Gail told me there are more than 1,000 people today. If you look at this picture, if all of you look at this picture, I will get 1,000 reactions, right? When you look at this picture, each one will react in a different way. And if you have a reaction, automatically you will have a response to that reaction. So can you imagine when children look at a picture like this, definitely they're going to react and definitely they're going to respond. Now, mind you, they're little ones, they're not able to speak English very well. So it's your duty to encourage them to speak and gently supply them with the English words. It's so exciting. Nobody wants to miss out on the fun, so they will want to speak. Now, my focus here is using the present continuous tense. If you can use this picture for grade 1, you can talk about animals, domestic animals. You can use it for grade 2. In grade 2, we have family and friends, we have pets, we have rooms in the house, things in the house, for grade 2. But for grade 3, we have jobs and we have the present continuous tense. So I'm going to focus on the present continuous tense for this activity. Now, where is mother? All of them. Now, if I say, what can you see in the picture? Their minds will go all over the place. So you have to focus. Where's mother? So the child will say, mother is sleeping on the bed. So they've used the present continuous tense and they've used a preposition. The teacher will say, but why is she sleeping? Now, is there any right answer or wrong answer to this? There's no answer in the picture. So what am I doing? I'm getting them to be imaginative and creative. So one child might say, there's lockdown. No maids are coming. Mother was cooking and cooking and cooking, so she is tired. Now, mind what the child said. Mother was. And I told you, we have to use the past tense of the verb to be and present tense also, which we have done in grade 1. So by saying that, the child has used the past tense as well as the present tense of to be. So mother was cooking and cooking and cooking. So she is tired. She's sleeping. Another child said, mother was busy cleaning and dusting and cleaning and dusting. So she's tired. So she's sleeping. Now, nobody wants to miss out on the fun, no? Even if they don't know English, they want to say something. They want to put in their 2 bits. Children are like that. So unlike adults, we begin to wonder, oh, what will everyone say? They may laugh at me. They don't bother. Nobody will laugh at them. So the third child might say, mother was doing the jadoo katka. Now that rings a bell. The teacher has noticed that the child has used his mother tongue. So you remember in the classroom how the teacher corrected the children? So the same way, the teacher will give him the English substitute for those words and say, mother was sweeping and swapping. So she's tired. So she's sleeping on the bed. Just with that one character of mother, we brought in so much. We got the present tense and the past tense of the verb to be, and we also got them to use the present continuous tense. Now tell me, who's the star of the picture? The star of the picture is definitely the cat. What a cute little fellow. He's certainly the star here. Now the children will talk about the cat. What's the cat doing? Now mind you, teacher, you have to word your questions perfectly. That's very important. What's the cat doing? The cat is fetching milk. Yes, he's fetching the milk. Now the teacher will say, look at the man. He's a very kind man. He's looking at the cat and he's wondering, will he be able to carry this milk in that vessel? Now teacher will ask the children, do you think the cat will drink up all the milk? Anybody can say anything. I'm sure all of you will have your own answers. One child might say, yes, he will. Another child might say, no, he won't. Another child might say, he will drink little. Now the teacher wants to change the scene. So what will she say? She will say, the cat is only a cat. He's only a cat. Imagine. How can he carry such a heavy vessel with milk in it? I think he dropped it down. All the milk spilled on the floor. Imagine, that poor cat is so frightened, he's shivering. Now is the time. The teacher has used her imagination. She has moved them out of the scene and created another scene. Then choose one child to be the cat. They will be only too happy to be participating. So one child is a cat, is shivering there and crying, no, I don't know what to do. Mama will shout at me. Now, what are the other children going to do? There's a mess. The milk is spilled on the floor, and the teacher will say, what shall we do? How shall we help our little friend, the cat? Bring in attitudes and values here. So then, every single child present must think of one thing he's going to do to help the cat clean up the mess. So they start doing the action, the role play, they start doing the action, and the teacher will ask, okay, Jessica, what are you doing? And Jessica will say, I'm carrying a bucket with water. So he's using the present continuous tense. Sheila, what are you doing? Sheila will say, I'm bringing the swab. Another one will say, I'm squeezing the swab. Now they might not know the word swab. So you can get them to say the correct word, give them the answer. So in that way, every single child will get an opportunity to say what he is doing. There will be a repetition. It's okay. Somebody else has already said, I'm cleaning the floor. It's okay. 3-4 children will say, I'm cleaning the floor. Let them all clean the floor. But finally, they have cleaned the floor and they have made the cat very comfortable. Not happy because he doesn't know what is in store for him, but at least they've cleaned up the mess. So in this manner, you have got the children to use the present continuous tense. Now, there's one more topic here for grade 3 is jobs. So you can go ahead and use this picture to talk about the jobs people do. Here we have the milkman. Talk about the other community helpers. Talk about other jobs. Where's father? That's a very pertinent question. Where's father? Can you see father here? Father's not here. Where's father? He's working in his office. So what work does your father do? And then with that, the children will start telling us what job their fathers do, and tell them to use the present continuous tense. He's examining the patient. He's a doctor. He's examining the patient. He's watering the plants or whatever job they're doing. They must be able to say one sentence using the present continuous tense to tell us what their fathers do. And why leave out the mothers? Not all mothers sleep like this. Many mothers go to work. So find out what work the mothers also do. So with the help of this one picture, can you imagine we have got so many language functions fulfilled here. And you can use your own creativity to use more language functions. Another requirement is telling directions, giving instructions on how to reach your destination. I already started it with the help of the story. You remember when the gingerbread man was running along the road. So they used prepositions of movement. Then he looked left, he looked right, he went across the playground. They've already used those words. Now with the help of a picture, you can say, the little boy is here in the cafe. He has finished having his cup of coffee, and now he wants to go to play in the park. Can you give me some directions? How can he go to the park? So then the child will give you direction, go straight, turn left, turn right. On the left, he saw a shopping center. On the right, he saw a hospital. Or as they move around along this pathway, they've got to be able to give you directions using the prepositions of movement and also talking about the places in the local area. So you pass the salon, the hospital, the library, the grocery store. So that's why I've got such an elaborate picture here. And along with the directions, we can also teach them about road rules. Talk about the zebra crossings. Talk about the signal lights. And so you can't cross the road when the red light is on. So the can and the can't come into play also. Now here, this is a very unique picture of a rainy day. Unfortunately, the children of today don't get an opportunity to do all the things that these children in the picture are doing. Incidentally, I've done every single thing that they are doing here. When I was young, my parents allowed me, our children, our time, we were allowed to play in the rain. We were allowed to make little paper boats and sail them in the puddles. So that's why I brought this picture here. So let the children talk about it. What is this person doing? What are they looking at? What is this cat doing? Look at this once again, attitudes and values. What is this little girl doing? She's worried because the cat is getting wet. So what is she doing? She is sharing her umbrella. Sharing, ing. See how many times I'm bringing in this aspect of using the present continuous tense. She's sharing her umbrella. And what is the cat saying to her? Thank you, little girl. I love you very much. And the little girl will say, no problem. It's okay. Tomorrow, if it rains again, I will share my umbrella with you. So let them have a little discussion on each and every character in the picture. Each and every character. Look at that man there. He's holding something on his head, his book. Why is he putting a book on his head? Because he has no umbrella. And this boy here is sharing his umbrella with the girl. So both of them are under one umbrella. And this naughty boy, he hasn't even brought an umbrella or a raincoat, so he's enjoying himself in the rain. You see how much you can speak. And let them speak about every aspect of the picture. I've chosen the picture so thoughtfully because there's so much you can speak about it, but let it not be random. It should not be random conversation. It has to be focused. Keep in mind what functions you want to develop in them, and accordingly they will use it. Now, this is the AAA which I did the last time. Answer, add, and ask. The teacher will say, do you like summers? And the child will say, no, I dislike summers. And he will add, I feel too uncomfortable and sweaty. Then he'll ask, do you like the fruits like mangoes and watermelons that are available during the season? It's so exciting when you have this game. Recently, just a few days ago, I was having a teacher training in one of the schools. And it was such fun. The teachers enjoyed themselves doing this activity. So if teachers as adults can enjoy doing this activity, how much more the children will enjoy. And they have to think. They have to think. In other words, I'm teaching them to give extensions. They must not just say one sentence answers and keep quiet. They must give extensions and they must learn to ask questions. So, do you like the fruits? Do you like the fruits like mangoes and watermelons that are available during the season? Then the next child will say, I love mangoes. He'll add to it. But it's so hot to shop or go outdoors. And then he'll ask a question to the next child. Now, I have got a picture about summer. You can get them to talk about different seasons, different weather conditions, all because we want them to give an answer, give an extension, let's add to it, and learn to ask questions. That is the basic thing. And simple present tense and the simple past tense of to be will be omitted. Now, let's just play. We call it, in other words, it's called scaffolding. Choose any one word. Now, in the hot season, the most important item I can think of is the sun. So you put that word in the middle and get them to think of as many words as possible. So we have sweaty, summer holidays, uncomfortable, umbrella, shade, fruits, hot, shine, rain. The children will give you these words. Once they've given you the words, you put it up on the screen there. You've got so many words. Now, let's weave a story around all these words. Teacher will start the story, and using all these words, they will try to create a little scene. So in other words, with the help of that word sun, they have developed so much vocabulary, and not only the vocabulary, they're also putting it into a sentence form. So this you can do with so many words, with all the words that you come across. Now this is out of the box questions. How will the earth be without sunshine? They have to think. Come on, imagine, what do you think will happen? Suppose one morning when you wake up, the sun just forgets to shine. The sun just forgets to rise. What do you think it will be like? What will be the scene like? I'm sure they'll say there'll be a holiday. We won't go to school because it's so dark. Let them speak. And here we have choose a word with sun. Earlier I said words connected with the word sun. Now here I've said choose a word with sun and talk about it for a minute. For example, sunscreen, sunburn, sunstroke, sunglasses. So it goes on like that, okay? Then we have winter. Now, this is a very nice activity where you hide something and then you have to give them the clues. With the help of the clues, they're able to find out what it is. So the child has hidden something and the child said, it's soft. My grandmother gave it to me. Everyone has one. We use it when we feel cold. What is the word? A sweater. So this way they're learning to give clues. They have to hide it and then give clues, and the children have to give the answer. Now this is another one. This is a very nice one. I really played actually with the teachers. I have a dice, and on the dice I put weather symbols. Okay, and the child throws the dice, and when it lands on the floor, whatever symbol is on top, the teacher has to tell the child, look at that symbol and listen to my question. So the teacher will say, what's the weather like today? So then the child will say, it's raining, it's sunny, it's windy, whatever. But if the teacher says, what was the weather like yesterday? Then the child will look at that symbol and say, it was sunny. So now they don't know what you're going to ask them. You may ask them, what's the weather like today? Or what was it like yesterday? What have they to do? They have to listen for the question. And if you say, what was it like? Then their answer will also have the was. And what is it like? Then the answer will be is. So here we have pictures. I would like them not just to say windy day, sunny day, cloudy day. Talk about it. Talk about this each picture, and you can have bigger pictures if you wish and have little picture talks on that. Now, this is called the try phrase. Try phrase means you have to say 3 sentences. Now, I want to talk about jobs. So, I'm a policeman. I take care of your safety. How about you? So then the next child will say, I'm a claw cobbler. I mend your shoes. How about you? So like that, each child has to think of a job. He has to say what he does and how about you. So that last sentence is the same. So I'm a policeman. I take care of your safety. How about you? So this is called the try phrase activity. And the AAA activity, I won't repeat because we're running out of time. But it's the same thing. Use it for jobs. Word associations is a new thing. Now we call this also, I also like to call it word tennis. Now, the first picture is a picture of a doctor. So if I say the word doctor, you have to say any word connected with the word doctor. So the moment that child says the word, the next child, and whoever is not able to say, that child is out. So that's called word tennis. Like, when you play tennis, you throw the ball, don't let the ball remain in your coat immediately. So you have to be so quick. Like suppose I say the word tailor. So these are called word associations. When I say the word tailor, they have to have so many words related to the word tailor. And when you play this game online, it's real fun, because when your class is over, long after your class is over, this word association game carries on with the family members. They can play this game with their family members, because the purpose is to develop your vocabulary. So here we have the fireman. So let them say about the fireman. Teacher will say the word fireman and give me the words that are associated with fireman. So this is called word associations. This is another miming activity, but you can't do it while you're online. Or maybe you can try and improvise. You give the children slips with jobs written on it, but teacher will make sure that you have it in pairs. So when the children start the role play, suppose I am a dancer, I will dance, but I'll also notice one more person in the room is also dancing. So then I have to go and find my partner. And both the dancers have to be together. So in that way, they are not only role playing, but they also have to observe who else has got the same profession. Action words for grade 3, I will say, is the girl singing? And the child has to say, no, she isn't. She's crying. This is important. She has to be able to say use the contractions here. Then look at the picture down here. Is the boy sleeping? No, he isn't. He's drawing. So that way we are getting them to use action words. Now this is the technique chant drill. It's called a chant drill because the first sentence and the last sentence have to be the same. I'm Malika. I like skipping. What about you? The next boy will say, I'm Neil. I like cycling. What about you? And the next one, I'm Santosh. I like boxing. What about you? So in that manner, the first sentence and the last sentence have to be same. So in the first sentence, they're saying their name. In the last sentence, they're saying, what about you? In between, they are using the present continuous tense. So this is called chant drills. And this is the final slide where you teach them how to weave a story. So get the children to form a group. Like say, now I have 6 children here. Each child will think of a doing word, okay? They keep it in their minds. Teacher will start the story. There was once a little girl. Her name was Sheila. Now see, I'm using the past tense was, okay? There was once a little girl. Her name was Sheila. One day, when she was playing in the garden, suddenly she saw, and she'll stop. And she'll point to the first child. Now, what will the first child do? What is his word? His word is running. So he has to continue the story and use the word running in it. Suddenly she saw a little dog running into the garden. And he will say, the dog was barking. So, and he will point to the next boy. The next boy has to use the word looking. He is Raju's dog. Raju is looking for him. See there, Raju's come running. He's looking for him. You see how the story is getting built up? So the teacher has to play a very important part to see how you weave it together to create a little story. So each and every child gets an opportunity to use their doing word and complete the story. Once the story is completed, the teacher has to illustrate it on the screen, on the board. Whatever happened, she puts up the illustration, give the story a title, and the children only have to look at the drawing and tell their story. Can you imagine how many stories they can write, they can build? Each group of 6 children can build so many stories. You can do it online comfortably, because all of them are there, right there in front of you. Okay, so now that's it. Now, I hope you all have been animated enough. This is the last session for this grade, and I want to leave with a message here. People who change after change will survive. People who change with change will succeed. People who cause change will lead. Make up your minds to lead. Thank you, teachers, and all the best.